Hi, everyone. I'm Bill Pito, and it's great to have you with us for this very special edition of the MSG 150 at Home presented by Chase. And while we want to thank all the healthcare workers and essential workers who are helping us through this pandemic, we think back to 50 years ago to the day, May 8th, 1970, one of the most important dates in the history of the Knicks franchise, as they beat the Lakers in Game 7 at MSG to win their first ever NBA title. We remember now with Mike Breen and his special guests, with another special guest to join in segment number 3. Enjoy, everybody.
Well, it's always a thrill to be joined by some of the former championship Knicks, especially on the 50th anniversary of the 1970 NBA championship New York Knickerbockers team. And such a great thrill to be joined by my broadcast partner and Hall of Famer Walt Frazier and Hall of Famer Bill Bradley. Gentlemen, it's so wonderful to see you again, and it's wonderful that you give us some of your time to talk about an anniversary that means so much to so many Knicks fans. Let's get things started by first telling us how you're doing and how you're dealing with this unfortunate historic time in our country. Bill, why don't you start?
Well, this is my 54th day in the apartment. I have not been outside, and it's a little difficult, but I try to exercise every day for 2.5 hours, and it's bearable. I mean, if I compare myself to the frontline workers, whether they're in the hospital or delivering our food or whatever, this is a small price to pay to get this get the spread of this disease down.
Clyde?
Well, being in sports, Mike, you have to deal with a lot of adversity. So discipline is a big part of what you have to do. So this confinement is a lot of discipline. Senator Bradley mentioned how he's doing yoga, a couple hours of yoga, and going between meals, 16 hours before eating. And, that's similar to what I've been doing too, exercise, sleeping, eating, exercise, sleeping, eating. So you go through that, you get bored at times, but, it's something that we've dealt with as being athletes, overcoming this adversity. I agree with Bill. We have a lot of heroes that are out there working to keep us safe. And, we still have to persevere a little more. I'm concerned about people coming out too soon. I just keep praying and hoping that things get better.
So let's begin. And Bill, you can start us off with, there's been so many great New York sports teams over the years, but for some reason, this team has endured to be as beloved as any team that has ever played. Why do you think they've endured like this, and it's still so important to so many people what you accomplished that year?
Well, I think, first of all, it was the way we played. We were unselfish, and we complimented each other, and we worked very, very hard. I think people saw that. We played also a game that New York City understood. I always say that in the Garden, people would applaud the pass that leads to the pass that leads to the basket, which they didn't always do in other places. I also think the makeup of the team, the personalities, the racial makeup, the geographic diversity of the whole place created an environment where people saw unity at a time of division. But, all of that wouldn't mean anything if we didn't win a championship. So it is the championship that makes the whole thing what it is today.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. The personality, especially on that team, if you look at the guys today, how successful they are. It's just uncanny what we went on to do after the game. And we were always very positive role models. We were very cognizant of that and doing the right thing for our fans, people following behind us. The teamwork, as Bill alluded to, when I think of teamwork, I think of Red Holzman. He demanded that we play as a team, otherwise you didn't play. Defense, so those were the staples of our game, and we personified team, because you can't mention Bradley without the Bushy, without Reed, without Barnett, without Frazier, and that's how we played the game.
And Holzman only had 3 rules, which was help out on defense, hit the open man on offense, and the hotel bar belongs to me.
Not necessarily in that order. Let's go back to training camp. in 1969. When did you know then, going into camp, did you really truly believe that this is the year something magical and a championship could happen? Clyde?
Yeah, after we lost to the Celtics, we felt that we were on a par with them in that playoffs. So we came back into camp thinking championship, that, hey, man, this could be our year. We got to work diligently to get it and make it happen. So we were very confident to start the season.
And, we in the previous season with the challenge against the Celtics, I agree with what Clyde said. The 5 guys played about 40 minutes a game together, and the team gelled. So there was this confidence in each other, as well as the confidence that we, as a result of that, could compete against the best. And I don't think anybody was thinking anything but championship from the first day of the playoff, from the first day of the training camp.
Well, in training camp, Mike, every night after practice, we went out. All the guys would go out having beers, just talking about the game, what we wanted to accomplish, how we were going to accomplish it. So there was a lot of camaraderie there, teamwork. We were one unit, man, hell-bent to get it done.
Well, you stormed out of the gates, 23-1 to start. They had the 18-game winning streak, wind up winning 60 games. Was there any one time, and Bill, maybe you can start us on this one as well, is there any one time or one critical stretch of the season or a critical game that you think really solidified all that confidence that you had?
I can't pick one. I think it was something that just grew and reinforced with every game. You go 23-1, you're doing something right. So the 25th game you're going to play, you're going to remember the 22 that you won, or 23, not the one you lost. And you think you're going to win the next game. You believe you're going to win.
Yeah, I just remember the superstitions, Mike. Once you get to a certain point, it wasn't like mass media then. So maybe we had to win 12 games before people started focusing that, the Knicks have won 12 straight. But you start getting superstitious, going to this game the same way. Like the same guy that let us out on the court, he was always first. The guy that came out last. Hostman always wear the same suit, he said, but we said, Red, you only have one anyway.
We'll be back with more of this special edition of MSG 150 presented by Chase. And coming up a little later, we'll be joined by a very special guest.